to another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast. My name is Hannah, and this is a podcast all about crochet, sometimes knitting, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. I am a pastor, that's my day job. I am an adjunct professor, that's my night job. And in between, every moment I can, I spend on yarn. If you would like to follow me online, you can do so on Instagram, Facebook. I am the Cozy Cottage Crochet. On Ravelry, I am just the Cozy Cottage. And of course, if you have any questions or inquiries about the podcast specifically, please do shoot me an email to thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. That will ensure that I can actually get your message and respond to you in a timely manner. How are you guys? It has been 2 weeks already. It has flown by. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. This week especially has been crazy. And the craziness is not over. We have tons to talk about. I have some giveaway winners to announce. And we should jump right in, I think. So before we go any further, I have 2 giveaway winners to announce from last episode's Podiversary giveaway. So I picked one winner from YouTube, the YouTube comments, and one winner from the Ravelry thread. Now, there were 220 YouTube comments, and the winner of the YouTube drawing is Melanie Stallings. And I'll put that down below. Congratulations, Melanie. I don't have a way to contact you because you're a YouTube winner, so if you could please shoot me an email at thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com, then I will get your prize out in the mail to you right away. And the Ravelry winner, there were 121 Ravelry comments, which I think includes my original comment, like original post, but like, is the number 1 ever drawn on a random number generator? I don't think so. So it's fine. The number 1 was not drawn, just in case you were worried. So number 43 is the person who won, and that is Harry on Ravelry, but your name is Haley, and I know you live in Canada, and you're fabulous. I follow you on Instagram. So if I will send you a message because I can get a hold of you on Ravelry with your address, and if you could get that to me, I will send you a prize in the mail. So I showed off the 2 prizes last podcast episode. They are already in envelopes waiting to be shipped out, so I'm not going to show them again. So what prize you will get will be a surprise. Whoever contacts me first will get whichever envelope I grab. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who commented. And I had a great time in the Ravelry group. The prompt was to tell me your favorite thing you ever made. I have like 50 more projects that I need to make now, you guys. I loved looking at all of your makes. And on YouTube, okay, I haven't responded to any of the comments for a very specific reason, because I did not want to mess up the random number generator when I picked a YouTube comment by adding double the amount of comments when I responded to everything. But I promise you, I have read every single comment, and I definitely cried a little bit, more than once, because you guys are so sweet. I just want to say thank you. I'm not going to get emotional right now. We have too much to talk about. So just know that I have read every single comment. I will start going back through those and responding next week. It may take me a little while because there's 220 comments and I am only one person. But I promise I will get back to all of you, and I'm just so excited that you're all here. And while I'm at it, I should say, hello and welcome to any returning subscribers. You guys know that I value you so much. I appreciate you. It fills my heart with so much joy that you come back every 2 weeks. And if you're a new subscriber, I'm so happy that you came to spend a little bit of crafty time with me. We have got a lot to talk about. So giveaway is done. Second order of business, the Knitted Knockers Cal is almost over. We have only a couple days left. It will close on April 30th. So you must get your finished objects into the finished object thread if you have not, to be eligible for the prizes that will be drawn. I have 9 prize packages. 9, you guys. So there's a fairly high chance that you could win something. There will be prizes from the chatter thread, the finished object thread. I'm going to spend 1 prize on Instagram, so it will be an Instagram prize as well. And let me show you this also, because one more prize came in the mail to me this week. It's these two beautiful little owl stitch markers. And they were handmade by lovely Adele, who has been a longtime viewer of this podcast. She is known as Idaho Crochet Mom, I think on Ravelry, but probably on Instagram as well. So she sent me those two beautiful little stitch markers, and I already have two prizes that are bags, and I'm gonna put one of those in each one. So you could get a tiny little owl stitch marker as well. It's super adorable to keep track of all of your progress. And this is super exciting. I did another count. So last podcast episode, I had counted in the Ravelry thread, and there were 75 finished pairs of knockers. Now, as of 5 minutes ago, when I counted, there are 103 pairs. There might be 103 and a half, because I think there was a couple people who did like just a single one out of the ones they had left. So I'm going to do a final count after April 30th and give you guys another update. But 103 pairs, that is crazy. I'm so excited. That means that as a community, we are going to make a difference in the lives of 103 women who need, or possibly even more if they only order one single knocker, who need knockers because they have been affected by breast cancer. So that's super fabulous. Before the next podcast goes out, there will be a separate video detailing the Knitted Knockers cowl, as well as all of the prizes. I will draw all of the winners, and there will be a separate video, so you won't have to search for that. I'm hoping to get that out next week, but we'll see. That may be a little too soon, but definitely before the next podcast, there will be a separate video posted on this channel with all of the prize winners, so that if you have won, you can know easily and find the information easily. Third order of business, and then I promise we're going to talk about yarn, is as soon as the Knitted Knockers cowl closes on April 30th, we have another cowl starting on May 1st, which is the Love Yourself cowl. And the only requirement to participate in this cowl is that you must make something for you. You cannot be giving it away to someone else. I will accept whips as long as they're not more than 50% completed. This is going to go from May 1st until June 30th, so 2 months, so that if you're working on a sweater or some kind of giant project, you have plenty of time to finish it. If you'd like to donate a prize to that cowl, you can always shoot me an email to thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. I do already have one prize ready to go, and I will be collecting some more. I'm gonna see if I can sew a bag. I have not been sewing. I have several bags cut out and ready to sew. Oh man, I have not touched the sewing machine. It has been insane. So definitely by the end of June 30th though, I'm planning on making a couple of bags as prizes for this cowl. And I'll see if I can get a hold of some yarn as well. So I don't even know if I've opened up a chatter thread in Ravelry. I'm assuming I haven't, because the last couple of weeks have been so crazy, but definitely in the next couple of days before May 1st, I promise I will open a chatter thread and a finished objects thread in Ravelry for the Love Yourself cowl. So if you are going to join that cowl, comment down below and tell me what you're making, and I will be telling you what I am making at the end of this episode. Okay, you guys ready to talk of finished objects? Because I have 3 finished objects. 3, and 2 of them are huge things to have had finished in the last 2 weeks. And I don't know I don't even know how it happened that these things got finished. So let me talk about the small ones first. This shouldn't take too long because of course I have finished all of my knockers. So last week I think I had A's, B's, D's, and half a C done. And now I have finished all 4 of my pairs, which actually I have not put these in the finished objects thread either. Bad podcaster. So I guess we technically have 107 finished knockers or finished pairs. So I've got 4, 1 in every size. I wasn't able to make double D because I ran out of yarn, but I will be making more of these in the future, definitely, because they're so quick. They take about an hour, depending on what size. The A ones take much less time, obviously. They only take about an hour to make, and I think that that's just a complete quality use of an hour of my life to be able to help someone. So I will be mailing these out at the beginning of May when I mail out all the prizes for the Knitted Knockers Cal. So I won't have to make multiple trips to the post office. So I'm just gonna mail them just like they are, unstuffed, to the collection point for the Knitted Knockers charity organization. Okay, I don't even know what to show you first. They're both so exciting. So one of them, I'll just grab what's closest. So first of all, these both I showed you last week as whips, works in progress. Number one is the Summer Diamonds Kimono Cardigan. A black and white picture, not that great. It is by One Dog Woof she has a website called One Dog Woof. She's also One Dog Woof on Instagram. This is a free pattern, so if you are wanting to make this, you can download it completely free from her website. The only thing is I've had this, I'm so sorry. I just almost lost everything on the table. I have had this printed out for probably 6-8 months. I don't know, like a long time I've had this printed, and I finally got around to doing it. And in the pattern, she doesn't really have sizes, in the sense that she just made one size for herself, and then she gives you instructions on how to make it longer or wider. So you can actually make it any size that you want just by messing with the pattern repeat, which is about 14 stitches. So I actually just followed the exact instructions that she had because she gave the measurements for her own cardigan, and I thought that that would fit me. It was living in this fun Christmas ornament bag, little tote bag that Charlie from the Love Charlie Crochet podcast sent me. And the yarn that I have used is this gray yarn because I need more neutrals in my life. It is Michael's Loops and Threads Joy DK, which is 100% anti-pilling acrylic. You get 273 yards for 100 grams, which is pretty good. And it's obviously a DK weight, sport weight yarn. You can machine wash and dry this, which is also great about acrylic. I bought 7 balls of this, and I only needed 6.5. No, I only needed 5 because I have 2 entire balls left over. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I'll have to think of something. And then I had some little like odds and ends of balls left over as well. But I mean, I got the yarn on sale, so I think that's completely fine. So let me show you. Are you ready for this? I haven't worn this yet because I actually completely finished it last night. It came out of the washer and dryer for being blocked. So here is the cardigan. It's got this amazing diamond stitch pattern. Let me give you a close-up. And so how you make this is you basically start on one end and you do a really, really, really long piece of fabric. So it is this thing doubled. So you start here, you go all the way around the back. And then when you get to the neckline, you only do half of it until you get to the other side, and then you start doing a really long piece again. Then you seam up the sides with a simple slip stitch, which honestly is my favorite kind of seam because it's easy. I really hate sewing things together. And this is what it looks like on the other side. Which I think it blends in pretty well from far away. And I mean, garments usually have seams, right? So once you have seamed it together, then you make the sleeves. You just crochet them on from where you are, and then you add a border. So in the pattern, she calls for the border, this is like a ribbed half double crochet in the back loop only stitch. She calls for you to make a long strip of this and then mattress stitch it on. I hate doing that with ribbing because I always end up with too little or too much, or it looks bunched up and weird in some places, etc. I just knew it was gonna be a problem because it's not just for the sleeve cuffs, you also have to do it on the bottom and the entire shawl collar. So what I did, in the pattern she calls for you, so you work these sleeves flat and then you just do an underarm seam. right here. So she calls for you to work the sleeves flat, do the seam, and then add this. So what I did instead is I worked it flat, and when I got to this edge, I chained 6. Yeah, I think it's 6 for this. And then I just started doing the ribbing and attaching it as I went. And at the beginning, I had to try a couple times because I kept messing. It just wasn't laying flat. So basically what it turned out to be is one or maybe 2 rows would be 3 stitches. So, and that made it lay completely flat. The only issue I have with doing the ribbing like this, even though I knew it was what I wanted to do, and I knew that it was gonna look the best on the cardigan, and for me, is that it takes so long. So long. It is way, way faster to just crochet a long strip, although it probably wouldn't be too much longer because then you have to fiddle with sewing it down. So I didn't have to do that because by the time when I was done, I was completely done. So I did the sleeve ribbing first, then I did the bottom ribbing all the way around, and then when I got to one end of the bottom ribbing, I just chained 8 because this ribbing is a little bit longer, and then you go all the way around the color. So let me show you what it looks like. I have not actually worn this at all. I'm planning on wearing it tomorrow. I'm super excited. Let me scoot back so you can see. So this is the cardigan. It's kind of boxy. It's got a lot of ease, positive ease. Like it's a kimono, so that makes sense, right? This is the back. When it came out, when I was completely done with it, it was just a little bit short. So if I stand on my tiptoes, you can just see where it hits me. Like this is my hip, and I wanted it to be down, like almost covering my butt. And when I was completely done with it, it was probably about this short, so just a couple inches. And so because this is acrylic, all I had to do was pin it out and just lightly steam block it. I don't even think, I mean, I guess I killed the acrylic, but none of these fibers are really shiny. It still has a lot of give. I did not heavily steam this. I just lightly steamed it, and then I unpinned it immediately and let it dry flat. And it shrunk back just a tiny bit. So I'm pretty excited about this. I've never had any kind of a sweater, well, this shape before. My husband really likes it, which he's not usually like a fan of flowy things. So I don't know. But the minute I was done with it, he was like, oh, I really like that. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll wear it all the time then. So I highly recommend the pattern. It was so relaxing. Like this, it worked up super quickly. I love the Joy DK yarn. This has been through the washer and dryer. And let me give you a close-up. See any fuzz? No. So it has a very slight halo to it, but this is yarn, so you're never gonna be able to escape that. Like I said, I haven't worn it, so I can't give you a testament to how it holds up, but I am very happy with the yarn, especially for the price. It was a dream to work with. It's super soft. It did not pill or tangle or anything when I was working with it, and the way that it comes in a ball was super fun. So this is the finished cardigan. I'm really, really happy with it, and I'm gonna wear it all the time, I think. And it's so light and lacy, it'll be perfect for the summer. I mean, let's be real. I'm still not gonna wear it outside because it's gonna be 90 degrees. It's actually been really cool for April. It was like in the 70s the other day. It should be at least in the high 80s by now, and it's been pretty cool, which probably means that summer's gonna be brutal. But that's okay, because I spend most of my time inside. I am what you would call an indoorsy person. In fact, if I go outside ever, there will be mosquitoes who bite me immediately. And Ella from the No Catchy Name Crochet Talk podcast was talking about this in her latest crochet and chat video about how mosquitoes will find her. Yes, me too, constantly. When I first got together with my husband, he like didn't believe me that every bug, even the ones who normally don't bite, they will bite me. And we were doing yard work outside sometime, and by we I mean he was doing yard work outside for like 2 hours, and then I went outside for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to hold a garbage bag for him to put leaves and twigs and stuff in. 12 mosquito bites. 12, you guys. So all I'm saying is the struggle is real, and I won't go outside unless it's cold or there's a breeze or we're at the beach. And we have this like a little tiny patio outside that we're looking at getting screened in because I refuse to go outside and use it on account of the bugs. So anyways, that was a complete tangent. Let's talk about the next finished object. It is, oh, I put everything too far away, I can't reach. It is the Everyday Cardigan. You heard that right, I have finished 2 cardigans. I have finished. The Everyday Cardigan by Sewrella, which is also a free pattern online. You can get it on her blog. You can also buy a PDF version on Ravelry. The yarn I have used for this is Deborah Norville. Let's see if I can. Everyday, which is also 100% acrylic. It is a worsted weight yarn. So the reason that both of these are finished is because they're made out of DK and worsted yarn. They go really fast. You get 203 yards for 113 grams, so it's kind of plump. And it is also 100% anti-pilling acrylic. Now I ran out of yarn on this project because I only bought 6 balls. I thought that would be enough. Why I thought that would be enough, I have no idea. I way overbought, so I have 7 balls to make the DK weight cardigan. I only used 5. I bought 6 to make the Everyday Cardigan, and I needed 7. Well, really 6.5 because I weighed it. This is what I have left. Can you even see this? It looks like little black holes. Black hole of yarn because I made the cardigan in black because I've had a talking to myself about neutrals and how I need more of them in my life, and who doesn't need a black cardigan? So this is about 60 grams of yarn left over. So these 2 came from a sleeve. So each sleeve took 1 ball of yarn minus this much. And then this is what was left over from the button band because that's where I ran out of yarn. So I had to wait like 3 or 4 days to get to Joann's because my schedule has been nuts, and then I could buy another ball of yarn to finish it. So you've already seen this if you follow me on Instagram, which, speaking of Instagram, that is where I'm most active. If you want crazy life updates and just to hang out with me in between podcasts, that's where I live. Oh my gosh, you guys. I don't know how well I'm able to show this because it's black, but it's so good. Okay. I don't know if you can even see that there's any detail because it's just plain black, but this is the finished cardigan. I mean, if I get close maybe. So it's got, this is all half double crochet. This is ribbing. That's the shawl collar. Here we have some sleeves. And then each sleeve ends with the ribbing as well. And also on the bottom of the cardigan, there's ribbing that goes all the way around. So this is made in a fairly similar way to the gray cardigan I just showed you. You make a back and then you just keep going for 2 panels on the front and then you seam up the sides. I did the sleeves slightly differently than she calls for. She calls for you to make the sleeves flat and then seam them under the arm and then attach them at the shoulders. I did not want to do that because I was concerned about the sleeves fitting. And it's a good thing I didn't because I had to frog a whole sleeve, the sleeve that I showed you last time. So I frogged that and I made some changes. So basically the only thing I did is I started my decreases sooner than the pattern calls for. And all of my notes related to what I did for the sleeves are actually in a Ravelry project page on Ravelry for me. I almost never update my Ravelry project pages, but I felt like this was really important because I already want to make another one of these. Let me put it on and you will figure out why. Okay, stand up. So this is what the cardigan looks like. Wow, that is like super blowing out the camera. I apologize if that's blinding you. It comes right here, which is right above my butt, and then it doesn't overlap on the front. because of the ribbing. The sleeves come just over my thumb, which I really like because I'm always doing that with sleeves anyways. I'm gonna sit down because the lighting is just horrible. Look at how well this fits. There's no extra material anywhere. Anywhere. I have never made something that fits as well as this cardigan. Oh man, and I've got to take it off because it's really, really warm. I have practically been living in this since I made it. Like, I have worn it. I finished it, gosh, when did I finish it? Maybe Friday last week. I've worn it like 5 times since then. This has been thrown in my trunk, carted to work and back. It has gone with me to the movies. It has gone with me to everywhere. Everywhere I go, this cardigan has been there because it's so comfortable. I love the yarn that it was made out of. Again, this is anti-pilling acrylic, and you can see that there's like no fuzz. There's a very slight amount of halo, but there's no fuzz. And this has also been through the washer and dryer and been dragged all over creation. I normally do not make more than one of a certain pattern because there's so many things in the world, right? But I am seriously considering making one of these in hot pink. I do love hot pink, which I realize now that I'm looking at myself in the camera that this may not have been a good choice to record a podcast in because it keeps blowing out the camera because it's so loud. But whatever, I like hot pink, so sorry. So I'm actually really thinking of making another everyday cardigan. Is that crazy? I really recommend this pattern. It's so simple, it works up super fast, and it is enormously comfortable. I love it. I highly recommend that pattern. So 2 finished cardigans. That is insane. I promise you, next episode is not going to be that exciting with finished objects anyways. But I do have some works in progress to show you. One of them is just a quick update on my gym socks, otherwise known as my Pippi Longstocking socks. So I finished this sock, and I don't know where I was last time because did I remember to move my progress keeper? No. I know I was past the heel. I think maybe I had like this much left. So I finished that one and I started this one. And I'm like halfway through the foot. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe start the increases in a couple inches. So the reason I call this my gym sock, if you're new, is because I pretty much only work on this at the gym. Now, life has completely conspired against me this week to keep me away from the gym. So I did not have a ton of time to work on this, but I did work on it a little bit while I was on a conference call. So we'll see. I really like having this tiny project in my gym bag because it's really small and I can do it like kind of contained, and because it's so small, it's not too hot because the gym that I go to is kind of like a warehouse. So they never turn on the air conditioning. They just open the door and let the humidity in. I was gonna say breeze, but there's not really a breeze there. Second work in progress, I showed you last week, I've made some significant progress on this. It's living in this amazing bag by Rebecca from Tree Frog Yarn that I've been hoarding with this yarn in it for months. And it is my next design. So you'll have to bear with me because everything is a little bit tangled up. I am using this amazing 100% bamboo Be So Fine yarn by Kristen Amdahl, which was a lovely gift from my friend Barb. And I am making a lace wrap. Now, I have been working on the pattern for this, I promise. If you signed up to be a tester for me, you already know who you are. I am close to sending this pattern to you. I still have to take some photos, and I don't think that I will be done with mine before I send the pattern out for testing, just because it's a pattern that takes quite a while on account of this is really thin yarn. So I've got to do the math to figure out how many repeats it will take to be 80 inches and then do some tweaking and put in at least a few photos, and then I'll be able to send that out. I'm hoping this week because I know some of you are pretty excited to get started on this. So this is how much I had done last time. I put a little progress keeper that Claudia sent me there. And actually, no. Yeah, this is how much I had done. And I have more than doubled it. So this is about a third of the way done. It needs to be 80 inches long, and I haven't measured this in a while, but I'm guessing maybe 3/8. It needs to be quite a bit longer. So I have been working on this. I mean, this is all I have left of one ball, and then I have a whole nother one. So I'll have plenty of yarn. This is a close-up of the stitch pattern, which is like little flowers. I love it. I love working with this yarn. Let me show you. So here's a gauge swatch in this yarn. And here is a gauge swatch in regular fingering weight yarn. So you can make it in both weights. I'm going to provide instructions for both weights in the actual pattern. And it's just interesting to me to see the difference in the type of yarn. So this is 100% merino. This is 100% bamboo. So this is what I would recommend, this or maybe a cotton or a linen, something like that, if you are making this and you live in a really hot climate. The stitch definition is kind of amazing. And this is just as lacy, but of course it's merino, so it will be warmer. So I've got to do some measurements, etc., so that I can figure out how long it will take to get 80 inches in each one. I'm loving working on this, and I have a name for it. It is going to be called the Key Largo Lace Shawl, or Lace Wrap rather. Key Largo is the first Florida key of the Florida Keys. It's the largest Florida key, or at least the longest. And I have some very special memories there, and there's a cute story in the pattern about why I named it the Key Largo Lace Wrap. So you'll have to make it if you want to know that story. The last work in progress that I have to show you is something that I have barely started. And it is the Blurred Lines Sweater by Deanne from Addie Day Designs. That's what hers looks like. She's running a crochet along right now, actually, in her Ravelry group for people that are making this. And it worked out perfectly because I had to order a 3mm hook from overseas because I don't have one. And Clover Amour does make a 3mm hook, but of course they don't sell it in America because I guess Americans don't use 3mm. I don't understand. What's up with that? So anyways, I ordered one. It came in last week, and then I have a start. It's not very big. It's just the neckband and one short row. So you do some short row shaping for the back of the sweater. And I am so happy with the gauge I'm getting on this sweater. Like, this is the perfect neckline. And when I measured it for gauge, I was on gauge, like 100%. So I'm using Loops and Threads Wool Like, which is a fingering weight yarn, in these two colors. So I'm going to start with the gray, go to the blue, and then go back to the gray. I'm really excited about. This is probably going to take me quite a while to finish because it's made in the pattern calls for a fingering weight yarn. That's a light fingering weight yarn, and it's going to work up much more slowly than worsted. So if you're looking at yardage, I know this sometimes confuses people. Like, how do you tell what kind of yarn is what just by looking at it? You can look at the yardage and tell pretty well. It goes down by like 200 yards every time. So if you have a lace weight yarn, you're usually looking at roughly 800 yards per 100 grams. If you have a light fingering, it's probably about 600 to 100 grams. If you have a regular fingering, maybe 400 yards. DK and sport weight, you're probably going to get 300 yards for 100 grams ish. At worsted is like 200, bulky maybe 100. So those are the kind of measurements. Like, if you just pick up a skein of yarn and you're like, oh, okay, this has 50 grams and 440 yards. Okay, well, if you multiply that by 2, that's 100 grams, 880. That means it's a lace weight because you're getting so much yardage. So that's just an easy tip on how to do that. Are you ready for our happy yarn mail segment? Because I have 2 very special acquisitions to show you. One of them I have been waiting for. I just need to show this to you. Here is this fabulous bag. Now, this is handmade in the UK. It's from Faye of the Crochet Circle podcast in her business Knit It, Hook It, Craft It, which I will put a link to down below. There's not really any of these left because everyone lost their mind basically when these were posted. She showed these on her podcast like months ago, and this almost never happens to me, but I was like instantly in love. I am really good at talking myself out of spending money. Like, you probably have never met someone who talks themselves out of spending money more than me. I am almost never immediately taken with something, but this, I knew it had to be mine. And she showed it on her podcast, and I immediately sent her a message, and I was like, I need this in my life. And then, of course, life happened, right? So they weren't posted right away, and I probably harassed her to death by sending her messages like, hey, is it posted yet? I like checked her website every day for a while, and then I would be like, okay, just, I really need that in my life. So they got posted. I immediately bought one. I used some, if you guys remember the gray elephant pillow that I had made back in January as a commission, that's what I used to buy this because it was a commission. So this is Harris Tweed. It was handpicked by Faye. This is waxed cotton, so it's like super sturdy. It's a big sweater size bag. Like, look at all this room. And I need more sweater size bags in my life because I'm making more sweaters. And then also, let me just show you. I just dropped the handle on the floor. I'm sorry. Do you know what it is? Because that's like the 7th thing I've dropped while recording this episode, which has only been 30 minutes so far. I had a workout this morning, and I've been working out like mostly this week, and my grip strength is gone. Like, I cannot hang on to anything because of the exercises that we did. Anyways, here is the handle, and you actually put the handle on the inside so that it's not gonna mess up the outside of the bag. You can fold this down with yarn in it, and it will just stay put. And you can have it on your hand. Now, it has snap closures. It doesn't have a zipper. And then also she sent me these light bulb stitch markers, which I actually was gonna buy some the other day of these. I really wanted to get some, and then I talked myself out of it. Shocker. And then they showed up. So thank you, Faye, I really appreciate it. I'm so excited. I've shown you guys this bag now, and I can go put a project in it. So definitely check out her shop, Knit It, Hook It, Craft It, online. And now I can stop harassing you, Faye, about when your bag's gonna be ready, because I love it so much. The other acquisition is also something that's super special to me because it is one more skein of my favorite indie dyer ever, Moontower Dye Works, who is Anna, who lives and dyes in Austin, Texas, which is what it says on the tag. This is the colorway Baylor Street Graffiti, which is inspired by a park in Austin that is going to be closed and like relocated. This yarn right here, and she also sent me super cute stitch marker. This yarn is the first skein of hers that I ever saw. Like, this is the one on Instagram that made me go, oh my gosh, I need some of her yarn. And at that time, she had not yet opened her Etsy shop. So when she opened her Etsy shop, I bought 2 skeins of yarn. I looked at this one and I was like, okay, I love it so much, but I really want to buy 2 contrasting skeins so that I can design a shawl with them. And that's what I did. And I was like, okay, if there's still any of this left when I have some more money, then it's meant to be. So I've been saving my pennies and I logged back on, and there was one skein of this left, and I was like, well, clearly it's meant to be. So I ordered it, and it came in the mail this week, and oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And she sent me the sweetest little card, and I just think that you should go to Moontower Dye Works on Etsy and check her out, because this is fantastic. I love it. So excited that I was able to get the skein of yarn that started the whole thing for me. There's something else I want to show you, but I don't have the yarn for it yet. So I showed this magazine a while back. It's the Interweave Crochet Winter 2017 magazine. There's like a million patterns in here that I want to make. There is like crazy amazing patterns in here. There's a poncho, there's blankets, there's Tunisian, there's cables, there's ribbing, all kinds of fancy techniques. Like, let me just give you a quick snapshot. There's 3 men's patterns. There's pajamas, which I probably won't make, but still, that's kind of fun. What I had showed you before was this. It is the Crimson Hooded Cardigan, which is a pattern by Sheba Guys on Instagram and Ravelry. Let's see. This is amazing. Oh, I'm covering it up. Ah! Okay, so it's got cables on the front. They go all the way over the hood, and then it's got this cable detail on the back as well. This is like an ultimate crochet project for me. The minute I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh. Can you guys hear that? There's like an airplane sitting on top of our house. Normally we don't have airplanes fly directly over us. That's kind of weird. Hopefully that didn't blow your eardrums out. Anyways, I wanted to make this Crimson Hooded Cardigan the minute I saw it. And I wanted to make it in the actual yarn that it calls for, because this is like an ultimate crochet project. I don't want to mess around with substitution. I want to make it in red. Like, that's so pretty. So I have been saving to buy the yarn for this. Now, the yarn itself is not that expensive. It's $6.99 a ball from Webs. It's a merino acrylic blend, which, let me see if I can tell you exactly what it is. It's 60% superwash merino and 40% acrylic. So $6.99 a ball for a 100-gram ball for merino acrylic like that was 60%. I think that's a really good price. The only thing is, because it's a long-sleeved, long cardigan with a hood and overlap, you need 17 balls of yarn. So that's a pretty big purchase price, and I was not just gonna go out and buy that. And of course, I was gonna buy 18 balls because, oh my word, would it not be horrible to get to the end of that sweater and not have enough yarn? That would be meltdown worthy. So I've been saving my money. And you should know that if you have purchased the Treasure Island shawl on Ravelry, which is my shawl pattern design, that you have had a part in buying the yarn for this pattern, because I just purchased it a couple of days ago. And so basically, I'm just gonna break it down for you. So the yarn, 18 balls of yarn, ended up being like $125 plus shipping on the Webs website. Because I had added over $100 to my cart, and it was eligible for a discount, Webs took off 25 bucks basically. Maybe even a little, no, they took off 25%, which lowered it to like $94. Then you have to add shipping, which was $10, which I don't mind paying for shipping for 18 balls of yarn. That's quite a lot of yarn, and I imagine that's heavy going through the mail. So my in-laws gave me a Visa gift card for my birthday, which is the best thing for a yarny person because you can spend the money on whatever you want. Now, the issue is when you're making an online purchase, you cannot split between 2 cards. So if you have a Visa card and like my debit card, there's no way I could split it up between 2 cards. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I can't like add the money to PayPal. Like, how is this gonna work? Here's a tip. What I did is I took that Visa gift card and I bought an e-gift card from the website in the same amount as the gift card. So I spent the Visa gift card, then it emailed me an e-gift card, which I was then able to apply to my order and then pay the rest with my own card. So it ended up being $104 total, which is quite a hefty sum of money, but I've been saving for this since like January. So I'm really, really, really excited. I probably wouldn't have been able to get it for another couple of months if they hadn't been so lovely and sent me that card for my birthday. So I really just so appreciate that because this is like a dream project. I'm hoping that the yarn will arrive next week. That is going to be my project for the Love Yourself cow. I'm going to make this sweater. Oh, I'm so excited. And it's gonna be in bright red. So basically, this is the best. I'm so excited. I don't have another ultimate crochet project like that. I'm sure I'm gonna find one after I'm done making that. So I will have the yarn. I had better have the yarn next time I record to show you because so exciting, you guys. That is all the yarny goodness that I have. I do have a little bit of a life update for you before I say goodbye. So I said the past 2 weeks have been crazy. They really have. I don't know, but I don't even know what's going on. Like everything is nuts. Tonight, well, Monday was my birthday. We went to Burns, which is it's B-E-R-N-S. It's a restaurant in Tampa that's like super fancy. And it's so cool to go there because every room is different and it's like a cool, different experience. They take you on a tour of the kitchen so you can see everybody working and like making their food. They take you on the tour of the wine cellar. They have like the largest collection of wine on the eastern seaboard apparently. And then once you're done with your meal downstairs, you can go upstairs they have a separate dessert room with like these little cubbies and you can pick your music. So whatever kind of music you want to play in your little cubby hole, you pick. And we picked like live piano because there was a live pianist playing. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I ate until I could not breathe. But I mean, what else is there to do on your birthday? Because we were going nuts, we did not just order one dessert. So we ordered downstairs, we ordered food. And then when we got upstairs, my husband and I each got a brownie. He got like a fancy fudge brownie, and I got a caramel brownie. And then we got a sorbet sampler. So you got like one scoop of all 5 of their sorbets. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so good. So good. So that was Monday night. Tonight, this is Friday, by the way. This episode will be going out tomorrow morning. And I'll tell you why I can't record tomorrow. Normally I record on a Saturday. So tonight is a prom at my church. It's an adult prom. It's not for kids. So we've been doing a series on relationships. And basically we decided to throw a prom for everyone who's in a relationship or single people who just want to come and dance. So we're going to have dancing. There's going to be all kinds of snacks and finger foods. Hopefully nobody spikes the punch. There will be punch, but spiking is not allowed, okay? So that's going to be super exciting. There's going to be a lot of adults really thrilled about the chance to dress up for that. Then tomorrow morning, there's a women's breakfast, which I'm speaking at, so I've got to prepare that. I mean, it's prepared, but I feel like I need to practice. Public speaking is okay with me. Like, I just need to settle down. Like, as long as I'm properly prepared, it's okay. But the first minute or two, usually I'm having a panic attack. Like, I'm just like, ugh, and I talk too fast, but then I settle down and it's okay. Which is why I cannot do announcements, because it's literally, you have like a minute to do announcements and then I have a panic attack the entire time and I never settle down. Whereas if I'm preaching, well, I have 20 minutes to calm down and that's completely fine. So then there's that. Then I've got a birthday party to hit up, which is for a little boy who's turning 2. He's so cute. And then I have another birthday party to hit up, which would be my best friend's boyfriend and me, because his birthday and my birthday are really close. So we're going out for just some food and drinks with them tomorrow afternoon. So we're gonna do that. And then I just feel like that's why I can't record a podcast tomorrow, because I'm not gonna be in the house all day. I'm gonna be out the door really early in the morning, and then I probably won't be back till really late. So I'm recording this a day early, and it will be posted tomorrow morning. And then of course Sunday is normal Sunday stuff. Church, grocery shopping, laundry. Monday, there's a crafting group at our church that have decided they want me to teach them how to crochet. So that's what I'm doing Monday night. And probably Tuesday night, I'm going to collapse. I'm already so tired this week. So actually, do you know what we might do on Tuesday? Go see the Avengers. I promise you, we would have been there tonight if we did not have the prom to go to. So there's been a lot going on, but I still managed to finish 2 cardigans, so I feel like that's pretty fabulous. My next episode will be a day or 2 late because not this coming weekend, but the second weekend in May is Stitchcation 2018, which, if you don't know, my best friend Caitlin, hi Caitlin, is part of a sewing circle, and her sewing circle rents a house in some part of Florida once a year, and they just go there for a couple days and sew. And I don't really want to sew when I'm there, but I'm going to take all of my yarn and hopefully just crochet constantly. I did, however, I don't know what I did with my calendar. I was obviously very confused because Stitchcation is from Wednesday the 9th through Saturday the 12th or Sunday the 13th. My graduation is also Saturday the 12th. Like, how did that even happen? How did I not notice a scheduling conflict? Anyways, I'm definitely not missing graduation because that's been 5 years of my life and it's finally over. And I've got my cap and gown and everything, and you better believe I am walking across that stage. So what I'm gonna do is go to Stitchcation on Wednesday night, and then I'll drive back to graduation on Saturday morning, because that's when graduation is. So the place where we're staying is in Titusville, which if you're not from Florida will mean nothing to you. But basically that is an hour-ish away from where the graduation is being held in Orlando. And Orlando is like 2 hours from my house. So Titusville is 3 hours. So basically I'm gonna go to graduation, then I'm gonna go back to Titusville and spend one more night there, and then I'll get up really early and drive back on Sunday morning so I can be at work / church, because it's the same thing, on Sunday morning, May 13th. So it's gonna be crazy. That is why I will not be able to record a podcast on that Saturday either, because I will be graduating and stitching my fingers off. Hopefully I'll be able to record something on Sunday afternoon when I get home. I may be completely wiped out, so it may have to wait till Monday or Tuesday. But the next time you see me, I will have been on Stitchcation, so I'll tell you all about it, and it'll be super exciting. Whew. I feel like I've been talking a mile a minute. I feel like maybe I need to take a nap before tonight because everything is crazy. Or hear me out, maybe I just need a grande soy blonde latte from Starbucks to pump me up. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again. I apologize. So until I see you in a couple of weeks, have the best time with your crochet. If you knit, have the best time when you're knitting. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you are joining in on the Love Yourself Cow. I would love to know if you're joining and what you are making. So please let me know. I've told you what I'm making, and hopefully the yarn will come for that by the next time I podcast. If you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you would like to be kept up to date whenever a new video is posted on this channel. Until I see you again, have the best 2 weeks. The beginning of May, listen to some Backstreet Boys and some NSYNC. You'll know what I mean if you hear it's gonna be May. If you see Justin Timberlake's face, if you don't know what that means, Google it because it's fabulous. Okay. Bye!